Hello.
Greetings. Is that
I
your?
just ran into this from the store.
Oh, it's Margaret. Hello, Margaret.
Margie, whatever.
Well, you said
Just don't call me Peggy.
well, you said you like Margaret. And I think Margaret's a nice name.
Yeah, I like them both. It don't matter.
It's interesting how many names Margaret has, though. Meg, Peg, Peggy, Marge, Margie. What are the other ones that I've heard?
Um,
Yeah.
um,
Anyway, it's
yeah.
definitely got a few of those. Therese, did you mute yourself? We had this thing. I'm only asking because we had this thing set up that people would come in with their cameras and their microphones on, and we'd turn them off if they need to. But did you turn them off, or because if they didn't turn
I
off,
did I
you
did turn mine off. Yes,
okay,
because we're making noise here.
okay, which is fine. I just I always need to know if the things that we think we set up work the way that we think they will, which is half the time not. All right, what happened to my book? Where's my book?
Deb there?
What's that?
Did Deb come up?
What come up?
Deb, huh?
She
She's
said I did talk to
having
her.
trouble getting links.
I talked to her last week,
I
a
I
week
had
ago.
to forward her the link. She said you didn't get it.
Well, yeah,
Hmm.
in case I
You
never
know what? You keep breaking up.
it's breaking up. Is that okay? Um, I think I'll call Deb or text her and tell her that you just need to go to the website. The link is always there on that page. Always there. Hey, Deb. Oh no, the dog's gonna stand down there and bark. She is such a goof sometimes. Deb. Oh. Howdy, Deb. Period. If you did not get the invitation to book club, you don't need it. Period. Just go to gardenataz.org and click on the first page, the menu item book club, and the link is right there on that page. There, let's see if she gets that. I was trying to find this cool video. Well, I thought it was a cool video. I haven't seen it in years. I came home one night and got stepped out of the truck and noticed some motion over by one of the shrubs. And I went and I looked, and there was a bee hanging on the end of a branch, and another bee that, for all the world, to me, it looked like the bee not hanging was trying to either encourage the other one to come on, you can do it, or help them or something. Um, I'm trying to find the video so that I can look at it and see. It seems to me that when I found it before and looked at it, I thought, oh, it doesn't really communicate that message to me now, because I never think to take a video or a picture until after I've watched something for a while. Then I go, wow, I should probably take a picture of that. So I may not have gotten all of the main things, but I was struck then by how solicitous the one bee seemed to be of the other bee. They were not honeybees, they were some type of small bumblebee, but I was touched. I thought it was very cool. My sister, who's only just started reading the book, but knows that we're talking about books, sent me a picture today of bees with cat faces. Where did it go? Um, Photoshopping her cat's face onto bees. So there's these, I don't know whether I'd be able to show it or not, but yeah, imagine a black cat's head photoshopped onto a bee picture. People have more time on their hands than they should have. It is very windy up here and turned quite a bit colder, like snowy colder. Not sticking on the ground snow, but enough colder that when my dog, who decided to come outside with me while I was weeding the patio, lay down on the grass next to the patio, I turned and looked at her, and she's white dots all over her, their coat is so well insulated that that stuff doesn't melt when it lands on them. It wasn't like she was in danger of getting covered or anything because it wasn't that much snow, but it made me hustle her into the house and say, "Come on, you're too old a lady to be sitting out here getting cold and getting sick." I hope people will find us tonight. I really screwed up last week. And Teresa, I don't know whether, yeah, I think it was you, had asked about the date. When I did the webinar from the last webinar, so a week or so ago, I had a panel set up to remind people about the book club, but I'd set up the panel before we decided to change to the third Monday. And I didn't even think about that when I put it up, and when I went through and proofread it, I just made sure it didn't have any typos on it. So I told people March 9th. Oh, shoot. So I left the meeting open for a while. Hey, Denise. I left the meeting open for a while, and well, for the whole time last week, while I went someplace else with just a note that said, "Sorry, my mistake." Denise, it is so windy here, and I have so many more branches down. Not big ones. If there'd been ice, if we'd gotten any ice, because they were talking about there could possibly be ice last Friday. If we gotten any ice, there'd be big branches down again. But boy, lots of little. I'm going to be picking up branches forever this spring. What a mess. Oh, I gotta turn your. You're supposed to. I set it up that you're supposed to come in with your camera and microphone on, but yours is off, so I couldn't hear what you were just saying. You'll need to click your microphone.
There we go. How's that?
That's good. Yeah. So your mouth was moving, but I couldn't hear what you were saying.
I was saying I'm in Florida, but we had a super windy, stormy day as well.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
I wonder if I know they said there was a big storm that was across the east, all along the East Coast.
Yeah.
I don't know. Weather is, sometimes it's so huge, but sometimes my sister yesterday was certain that it got over 60 degrees where she was, and she's about 20 miles from me. But I was outside working with my long johns, vest, and coat on, and never got warm enough to take the coat off. And normally I would if it got over 60. So I'm thinking that even between here, the highland, and there where it's lower, down near where the rivers come out, that there was a difference in temperature. I just hope that this March, what's it supposed to, comes in like a lion, goes out like a lamb. Yeah, I'm hoping
Correct.
this March goes out like a lamb. I am going to go to Boston and see if I can teach my former client friend how to prune his Espalier yew. Yeah. I would like to know that it was going to be halfway decent weather then. I broke my footstool. Somehow broke a leg on my footstool. And it's amazing how that couple of inches under my feet on my desk has become very necessary. It's a tall book.
Jeb, I mean, not Jeb, Janet,
Yeah, Margaret.
did you hear the Mackinac Bridge was closed? And they're having 4 feet of snow up there?
4 feet. I heard that they might
In
get-
Marquette,
Wow.
but the bridge was closed because ice was falling down.
Wow.
And it's a mess. Yeah. If you have Instagram, you could see all that.
I mean, I you really want me to get Instagram, don't you?
Uh-huh. Because it's not like a lot of it's like travel, Michigan travel, UP travel.
I did Facebook for a little while, like
Oh no, I hate
like 2 weeks, and then realized no, social
No.
media is not for me.
No, I hate Facebook myself. No.
Well, and anymore, you don't know what's real. With
Yeah.
AI and all of that, you don't know what's real anymore.
Yeah.
My sister sent me an article today about a big find in China where they found that a volcanic eruption 300 million years ago covered an entire tropical forest of that period slowly, so that it's there. If they dig down, you can walk through the forest. I mean, everything is still there, preserved by the ashfall. And I'm reading along going, wow, that's really cool. I'd like to walk through and, see how tall these primeval trees were and whatever. And it said, I got to the paragraph that said, and so and so and so and so said such and such, an author of the study, Professor Herman Pfefferkorn. And I looked at that, Pfefferkorn, Pfefferkorn. I don't know. I don't know. A Chinese discovery by a Professor Herman Pfefferkorn. I'm just not real sure. We'll see if we can get some people in here today. What we probably should do first, in case people, when should we draw for another book? Early on, and we can do the drawing, or should I wait until later when if there are more people here?
And
Yeah.
I'm reading The Secret Life of Bees.
Yeah.
Did you read that book?
I did. Yes.
Wasn't it great?
Yep.
I'm almost done. I can't put it down, but it's so funny
Yep.
and good, and it explains again how the bees act. So it makes the book, The Bees, easier for me to get. I have a connection.
It's kind of a temperance on some of the things that might be that way and some that might not be that way. I as I was reading that book, I thought they should have titled this one "The Beekeepers," though. It's so much about people and how they react to bees. Hey, Michelle, how are you? You were saying that the skunks scratch on the hive. They scratch on the hive in order to call the bees out to defend it, or are they
At night.
Yeah, so they're not scratching to try to break their way in. They're scratching to.
Oh, no. They're trying to get the bees' attention. And, not all the bees go to sleep. Some bees go to sleep, but they don't all. And they're in there and they hear this sound and they come out. And bees can't see at night very well.
Yeah.
And they come out, they fall down to the ground, and the skunks grab them up.
Yep.
And then the next day, when you go into your hive and they're real pissy, you're going, "What happened?"
we lost 25 soldiers last night. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I I think that skunks are pretty smart critters when it comes down to it. But we had collies before we had labs, and our first two collies, Nui and Maggie, came in one day, and Nui had quite the narrow nose. And when she came in, I looked and I said, "Your nose looks puffy. Why does your nose look puffy?" Well, I couldn't figure it out until the next day. I was out in the yard with them, and the house had a crawl space, an elevated crawl space, and a wooden skirt all the way around. There was a knot hole in the skirt, and there were bumblebees coming out of the knot hole, coming in and out. And I looked, and the dog would stand next to the knot hole with her mouth open and wait for a bee to come out and then eat it.
Oh my God.
I said, "You nut, you got stung." Why would they decide to
They
eat
would
bees?
do that after the first one.
Dogs are kind of funny. Wait. Hey, Deb, she found us. Hey, Gail.
All right. Hey, Deb.
It is a different book than the one we read. It's the Secrets of Bees, Secret Life of Bees,
No, The Secret Life of Bees.
Secret
It was
Life.
a movie, like in back 2008, I think, but I don't remember seeing the movie.
Yeah, no.
But at the beginning of each chapter, they have like a quote about the real way the bees act, like in the bee book.
Mm.
It was a really good book.
Well, that was with Oprah Winfrey, I think, the movie.
Was it? I don't know. I'm gonna watch it though, but I'm glad I'm reading the book first.
Yep.
Oh, I bet I know what character Oprah Winfrey is too.
You mentioned, Michelle, that some of the bees sleep, but not all of them are asleep, and so they are attracted by the skunk. I was reading about bees sleeping. I was looking up all kinds of things about bees because I just wanted to know how things fit together. I got another whole spreadsheet of factoids. They only sleep for like 30 seconds at a time. They nap rather than sleep is what let me see if I can find what I found about that. Where would I put that? Life cycle?
Hmm.
No.
Sometimes you'll pick up the frame and there'll just be some bees off to the side and they just aren't doing anything.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know,
sleeping is very brief, it says, and no special sleeping area. And, you know, the whole bit with the, what do they have in the book that they call them dormitories? Dormitories and a dining hall. So no, it doesn't really work that way.
Yeah, neither do the jobs.
Not quite, not quite. Everybody pitches in doing everything, kind of is what I thought. Do they, now, the look different? Okay, we should probably find out if people are here. Does anybody want to talk about this book? Because we're going to dive in here. I'm going to get rid of this page that's here so we can see each other. Stop share. There we go. Oh, Therese, look how tan you are. Oh, gal. Huge. Dynamic.
It goes well with her hair.
Ah, thank you.
Um,
It was a beach day today.
Oh, wow. Must be
Not
nice.
in many places.
okay, well, I only have 5 people up at one time. I don't know how to change it to have more people. And I know there's a way to do it. Speaker, gallery.
I think you have to hit gallery.
I do have gallery, and it only gave me 5 people. The rest of them would be someplace else. Yeah, sort gallery by. First name? No, I don't want to multi-speaker.
I don't,
That didn't help. Well, that got me 6 people. Are there 6 of them?
well, I see 8.
There's 8. Yep. Well, I can't see everybody. So that's just the way that goes.
Well, do you have it set so that you're seeing the people that are talking?
Might have. Speaker.
Sometimes that doesn't allow you to see everybody.
Speaker. Well, now I've got
I don't know,
great
I'm not
big
very
B
good.
and 6 little ones on the top. I don't know. I have 6. Somebody. Oh, some people have their
Head on
cameras
because I'm
off,
in the kitchen.
and that's okay.
Sarah's-
Some people have their
Sarah's
cameras.
coming over at 8 to eat my spaghetti.
There we go. Okay, so I'll take that. So I can see everybody little on the top, and I see whoever's speaking bigger. Yeah. So anybody can take it. Did you guys like the book?
Yes, I did.
Are there?
I didn't at first, but now I did. I did now.
I think it was.
I liked it.
I think it was Janine who was reading it who said, "Oh, they practice eugenics. This is awful." We lost somebody there, but I think she said that she did end up finishing the book. I was taken with the notion that they look different, and as far as I could tell, looking things up about workers and nurse bees and foragers and drones and whatever, that the drones are bigger, definitely, but the other bees don't look different. And then I thought, maybe they do look different, but we don't see it. Kind of like, they say that all gorillas look different. And people say, no, all gorillas look like gorillas to me. Well, maybe they do look different. Maybe they are, maybe the cleaner bees do.
White people are.
White people?
People
think
think
it's-
that all white people look alike, right?
Yeah.
I heard that from my
All
friends
white people,
who
all
are black,
Asian people, all black people, I mean,
Yeah.
we do that,
Chinese, Japanese.
Well, I didn't know that drones have a penis.
Yeah,
Right.
biggest penis of any animal. At least that's what I see drones when we go here.
Well, the drones
Okay.
have really big eyes that take up the whole top of their head, and the workers, the females, don't. But the big eyes are so that when the drones are out flying in their congregation area, they can see a queen zip through, and then it's the fittest that goes and gets her.
And chaser, yep, yeah. It's pretty cool, actually. I really got a kick out of the drones, though. Just hanging out.
Sir, what was his name? Sir
Typical.
Lyndon. Sir Lyndon.
Yeah.
He
And
was
I
the
like
only
that
good one.
She said they used pomade on their hair.
yeah, that was cool.
Well, that's because their eyes are so black that that's what it looks like, probably.
Yeah. I did read that they actually do help, like in hive ventilation and whatever. They will fan and heat things, so they don't absolutely do nothing, but they don't do a whole lot of anything. But I love it that they actually do have a congregation where they just hang out, just the guys.
In the cigar lounge.
Yeah.
Well,
I like how they killed them all at that one point because they were
The
jerks.
women.
they do that.
Yeah, they were jerks. But
Yeah.
then, that one guy was a good guy.
Yeah. They either kill them or they chase them off.
Yeah.
Which is as good as.
Yeah, right. We don't need you anymore. Don't need you anymore. 30 to 55 days I read, and then you guys are gone.
So the
Sometimes,
book,
go ahead.
go ahead, Michelle.
I was just going to say sometimes the drones, that part where they said they were going to go out and find somebody else and then they ended up coming back.
Yeah.
Drones can do that. They can go into any hive
Hi.
at any time and be fed.
Oh,
Not
really?
just
And
their
be
own.
fed?
Wow.
I thought they could get in, but not. I didn't realize that they would actually
And be fed. And in the wintertime, some of them do actually end up staying in there. But if they do, the workers push them all out to the outside
outside
of
edge. Yeah.
the cluster because they're expendable.
You don't get to rotate into the middle, huh? Yeah.
Hmm.
So, and the rotation sounds a little bit like how the penguins do it down in Antarctica. They just kind of
I
keep
didn't quite get the one that she was talking about where they were like moving up, moving up, moving up.
Yeah. Unless the up was up and in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always got the impression that they do like the penguins.
Yeah. Kind of come in close to the center and then back out again and close to the center. One of the aspects of the book that I had the hardest bit to take in was they kept talking about murals on the walls and watching. I mean, it's dark in the hive. If they're seeing anything, they're seeing it by scent and by vibrations and whatever. They don't see. And so
No.
how do they see the waggle dance? And I was looking that one up. They actually touch. They feel the waggle dance. They can feel how fast they're waggling and how far they're going. And of course, there's a whole little diagram of how the apogee of the sun and the direction is all indicated in there, but I couldn't fathom it. I couldn't figure where it was saying to go. Have you been able to figure that?
Wherever the sun is, doesn't matter out in the world, it's going to be up in the hive.
Yeah.
So if they're doing their waggle dance, they waggle, 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 and stop here, and waggle, 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 and stop here. If that's 20 degrees, 45 degrees, whatever, from the sun, when they go out, they're going to do that many degrees away
Okay.
from the sun.
Okay, and see, I'm not thinking about they could be waggle dancing up and down on a vertical surface. I'm always thinking that it's a level surface. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they call it a dance floor, but
I was gonna
it's really a vertical surface.
Yeah. I think it was right before you got on, Michelle. I was saying that I've been looking for a video I took years ago. Came home from work one day and stepped out of the truck, and there was some motion at the shrub on the side of the.
Sorry.
And I looked over there, and it was a bumblebee, one of the smaller species of bumblebees, was hanging on the end of a branch, a twig, and another bumblebee was tending it. That's all I was kind of looking out for it. I don't know if it was trying to encourage it. Come on, you can come back, but I watched it for a while before I decided I'm going to take a video of this, and I thought I should look at the video and see if any of that came across. I'm really bad at videos and pictures. I think of taking a video or a picture after I've looked at something. I go, wow, I should have taken a picture of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe that they do help each other. I was reading about the whole deal with sensing stuff and thinking about Janine being repulsed by the eugenics. I found something here. Where is it? They can smell. Where is it? The bees that are tending the comb the larvae, they can actually smell disease,
Yeah, they can.
and they'll rip the cone. They'll open up that chamber and get rid of that one. And there was also a thing about the gene for there's a gene that goes well with foraging. Okay, it must be in foragers. Yeah, the nurse bees may be able to detect the gene for good foraging. They had a name for the gene. It was some journal article that I was reading, and I thought, well, that's pretty cool. So they can favor for the ones that are the better foragers, because the same article said something about the fact that having good foragers can make or break a hive, and that some hives don't have as good foragers as others. And I thought, well, I guess so. I mean, we're talking genetics all the way through.
But they're trying to, we try to breed when you split a hive, and you try to split a hive that has that
That's productive.
they favor cleaning out. They, like you said, they can smell mites, they can smell disease, and they're called hygienic bees. So you're looking for a colony that has hygienic behavior, and they can also smell if the egg that's laid is too genetically close to, in other words, that the one of the queen's males mated with her own son mated with her, they'll smell that egg is genetically too close to the queen, and they'll eat that egg up.
That one's gone too. Yep, I love it. I didn't realize that queens could live more than 1 year. Now this was not in the book. Well, it was in the book. I mean,
Yeah.
wintering over, but 3 years sometimes. Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. 50 pounds of honey they need just for themselves for the year. How much honey do you get out of a hive? How much honey do we take out of a hive?
You could, like, depends. If you've got too many hives in an area, it would be less. But it's possible for you to take out 70 to 100 pounds out of a hive.
Wow.
But people that do that, I'm not one of those. People that do that end up
Having to feed through the winter.
feeding sugar water back to the bees for them to survive the winter.
Yeah.
I'd rather just take a little bit out and leave the rest for them.
What did you guys think about the wasp and the sugar episode?
It was, oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
He saved her? Was that in the green? No, that was in
it
the
was-
greenhouse. That was a spider.
Right, this was a wasp who led him into a factory where wasps were eating candy, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and was luring him along. I read, where did it go? That it takes 2 million visits to make a pound of honey. 2 million back and forths by bees to make a pound of honey, and they need 50 pounds of honey themselves to supply their own needs through a calendar year. I thought that's a heck of a lot of flying.
It makes me feel bad to eat honey.
But bees are hoarders. They will fill up one big box with brood and food, and then they'll start putting the food up on top. And, if you get too many boxes of honey on the hive in the wintertime, that's like a cold sink. It's too cold up there, and the bees, they don't have enough bees, or they can't get up there. And so if you don't take that off, you're harming the bees than not.
No wonder people like bees. I read a thing about beekeeping as a therapy for soldiers with PTSD.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Heroes to hive and hives to heroes.
that's
I
it.
don't know why there's two different names, but it's two different groups.
Yeah. But I can see with all the different things you have to learn about the bees, and how much they do and how much you cooperate to get things done, that would be a
Mhm,
good thing to do.
mhm.
Let me see.
Something better to focus on than the PTSD for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. How about size of the colony? 60,000 bees,
Wow.
and they cut it down to maybe a third the number in the winter time.
Winter.
That's a lot of bees. But that got me into other social insects. It's really hard to read about bees, and I was trying to learn about hive mind. And right now, if you put in hive mind on the internet, as opposed to looking in books or whatever, you put hive mind in the internet, you're going to get Star Trek. That's all you're going to get. It's going to take you to the episodes of Star Trek that had to do with the hive mind. But I was trying to learn about hive mind, and that takes you over to termites and ants and whatever. And the naked mole rat, northeastern Africa, is also a colonizing social insect. There's one queen. She bears the pups, sometimes 30 at a time. Everybody takes care of them. And these mole rats, who are essentially blind and deaf, work with scent, smell, and vibration more than anything else. And their tunnels, their runs, can be 2.5 miles long.
What?
Yeah. They,
Crazy.
Are those the ones, Janet, that live like extremely long lives, or
and
is
never
that?
get cancer. Yeah, or rarely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're studying. Yeah, they live 15 to 30 years, longer than most other animals their size. Um, yeah, it sounded very, very cool. And that got me into ant colony sizes. I said, so how big are, there's an ant colony in Japan that's been identified that has 45,000 linked colonies. It covers 7.5 square kilometers, has 300 million workers in it. And that made me think about the ants in our yard. I've joked with Steve several times. I said, I think we have an ant colony that starts in the front yard and continues all the way into the backyard. And I'm beginning to think that we do, that because they really like this soil. Is yours sandy too? Denise is a neighbor. So is yours real sandy?
Yes, very sandy.
Yeah, so they like the sandy soil. I know some people, as they get down to the lake, wow, it's a whiteout outside.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Some of the people have a heavier soil, but yeah, they sure like the sand. Anyway, I just thought that was kind of neat. It was also neat that paper wasps and yellow jackets, which are also social insects, there might be 200 of them, so not nearly as big a colony, but they'll eat 5,000 caterpillars a year.
We do a disservice by killing off the wasps, but they're just so cranky.
Yeah, exactly. They don't put up with anything. You look at a bald-faced hornet nest, you look at it, and they come out at you. I really think.
They're pretty. They also can fly when it's colder than the honeybees, so they sneak into the inside of the bottom entrance, and then they can grab. They're really after the larva, and they feed that larva to their larva,
Their larvae.
and then their larva excretes a sugary substance that the adult wasp eats.
Yeah,
How weird is that?
yeah, it does sound really weird when you think about the whole, but it's very economical, don't you think?
Yeah.
Takes care of all of that stuff. I was trying to photograph some bumblebees one day. They were in the wall at my grandkids' house, the wall between the garage and the house, and they were coming out through the opening of the wall where the garage, where the garage door comes down. There's a place where the concrete meets the concrete, and some people stuff like a felt liner in there. There was nothing in there, and the bees would come out and walk along that hole and then take off. And I said, leave them alone. They're not bothering anybody. But one day they stung. One of the kids got stung, and I thought, I hate to kill these bees. What if they're one of the bumblebees that's really precious? So I was I was on my knees next to where they were walking back and forth, the bees, trying to get a good picture of one of them so I could sit down with a book and see what kind of bees they were. And they came at me. And one of my friends told me that that's because you're a carnivore and you breathed on them and they could smell you. And that's like a bear or a dog or whatever. I said, I got too close to the bees and they smelled me. I need to put that on a shirt.
Well, that's why you don't wear black or red around the hive either, because they interpret that as a predator bear.
Yeah,
Mich-
our friends who have a really big bee, Sonia's friends actually, she's got quite a few friends who are big bee production people. Like you open the barn door and there's 55-gallon drums full of honey all down the sides. Lots of honey, lots of hives. I went to go look at the hives and we had our dogs with us. We were visiting. And she came and she said, no, the dogs can't come. I said, they'll be okay there. She said, no, they won't. They'll get attacked. They're black labs and they're going to go at them if they show up near there. Yeah.
I wanted to ask Michelle, I had heard that not to wear sunglasses around the bees because they see you as a big bug. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Been told that by my mentor also. When you ever go into his yard, if you've got sunglasses on, he'll ask you to leave them in the car.
Okay, thank you.
It's true.
I was interested in bee space and how they build the hive, and ended up at a place where they were showing me bee festoons.
Oh, isn't that cool?
Yeah, there's a vertical column of comb here, and there's something over here, and the bees want to make another, there's room for them to make another comb. They hang on each other, and they like drape across the opening, and crawl across the hung together bees. It's just, festoon is a really good word for it, because it's what it looks like. Yeah.
And see, there's one thing that's really, really wrong about this book, and that is the jobs. A bee isn't born to a job, and there are as the bee ages, it goes through all these different jobs. Like when it first comes out, they are nurse bees up until just a certain age, and then they diversify into, okay, they could be
They produce the wax for a certain amount of time, right?
pardon me?
They produce the wax for only a certain amount of time.
Right, and that was the segue here, and their wax glands are on their sides, and it comes out, and it's beautiful white and little tiny thin slivers, and I think there's 4 on each side, and that's what they take and and make that the wax for the comb. But yeah, and then the very last jobs that they get after being, let's say, guard bees, and is either being water foragers or pollen and nectar foragers.
And they really do get worn out. It sounds
Yeah.
like,
Their wings.
yeah, can you actually see that? Can you see the wings getting tattered on your?
Oh yeah. And the other thing you can see is they look more bald.
Yeah,
like
they
when
lose hair. Yeah.
Yeah. When the nurse bees, when they just first hatch, they're all nice and fuzzy and nice, and they've never been out of the hive, and so if you are lifting them up and transferring them into another hive, they won't fly out and go crazy at you or anything like that. They just stay on the frame and do what they're supposed to. They're
Gentled at a certain point. I was interested in how they make honey, that there's something in their saliva. So it's important for the forager bee to pass off what she's collected to another bee, because they each add a little saliva to it. And then they put some of it between their mandibles and let it dry out some, and then they put some more. So they're standing there dehydrating it a drop at a time. That is just.
Then they also will put it in there, and all the fanning is also for dehydration.
I thought it was very cool that they really do heat things to death. Because I think in the book they heated a wasp to death, was it? something. They surrounded something and
Yes.
just heated it.
Yes, it
and
was,
died.
I think it was the wasp.
Well, that's how they would have killed the queen.
Yeah,
They would have all gotten around her, not all, but a whole bunch of them would have gotten around her and just created so much heat that she would have died.
but she dies.
That's
And
called
that's
balling the queen.
Would
and
they,
they do that when the queen's production falls off or they start getting bad bees.
Yep. Or yeah, either when she gets, and she can actually get diseases from mating if the drones are sick. And I was just at a bee conference this weekend, and it was like the statistics were just so sad. How the herbicides and pesticides and all these things, they're just making insects in general sick.
And that's I think that was a good point in the book. They didn't pound on it, but they said, look, everything was gray. The ground was littered with bees that had been out there when they sprayed and got killed. They didn't say when it got sprayed. It just you know, and other bees accusing the bee of you sent them the wrong way. I thought it is terrible. It's terrible that what happens to things.
I was wondering I didn't look to see if it was, I didn't check this for truth, but if the towers interfere with the signals that the bees are.
I checked on that one. There is a theory that can confuse them.
Because they're usually going by sight and smell, but I didn't know about, those rays.
frequency or vibration?
Yeah, vibration.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask when the bees say they do heat up a queen, do they also die because they are right in the middle of all that heat, or can they take the heat better than the queen, or do you have any idea?
Good thought. I don't know.
If they were to stay in the middle, they would. They would
I would
also
think
die.
so. Yeah. And they didn't talk a whole lot about propolis, but I'm fascinated with propolis. And I have made a tincture that we do under our tongue every day. And I made an ointment for wounds. And I am here to tell you that stuff works beautifully. I spent 2 hours keeping it below 110 degrees Fahrenheit and just stirring it into coconut oil. And that stuff, I heal much quicker when I use that versus anything else. So yeah, propolis is great stuff.
I heard that it and the wax are very potent antibacterial agents. Is that what?
It is antibacterial. Propolis is.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, the bees will, in a natural hive, they'll coat the entire inside of the entrance and even the as much of it of the interior of the hive. If it's a bee tree, like they find a hole in a tree, they'll coat that. Or if a mouse gets in there in the winter and they are good enough to sting the mouse to death, they'll cover the mouse completely with propolis so that it won't.
They did that in the book.
Yeah.
They did that.
Yes,
They did that in the book.
Won't contaminate the hive.
Right.
Yeah. I think I like this book the same way I like historical fiction. There was enough in there that related to the actual time so that I could feel like I was learning something, but being entertained at the same time. It's funny how much I don't like to just learn something. I like to be entertained too.
I think that's normal, Janet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then sometimes when I'm reading historical fiction, I have to go look up what the real story is because I can get sucked into the story and think that that's really true.
Yeah, I get that way. I've often come walking into the doorway, especially when I'm reading historical fiction that happens during a time when there's some war going on. And Steve is real big on military history, so I'll come and stand in the door of his office and go, "Did they really kill 245,000 people just at Gallipoli? they're making that up. No, no, they're not. And then he pulls out the encyclopedia and he go, oh my God, they did that. They sent them repeatedly to get killed as a diversionary. And I thought, God, it's just, now I'm going to start thinking about wars again, and I can't do that. I can't do
Oh,
it.
I know.
Can't do that.
Mm-mm.
God. Um, okay, so the queen develops fastest. The queen grows faster than the rest of them in as a larva, huh?
Yeah.
So they can produce a new queen in like a couple weeks.
Yeah, 14 days. Yep. Might be 16. I think it's 14.
Strange.
But isn't it true that they are genetically the same until they start eating the royal jelly?
Every egg for the first 3 days gets fed royal jelly.
Huh.
Any egg within that 3 day period, if they continue to be fed royal jelly, will become a queen, as
Oh.
long as they're female and not male.
And
Okay.
and they're not all genetically identical because the queen may have mated with several drones, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that no, but what she means, I think, is that any egg can become a queen if fed royal jelly, and
Continuously.
they're filled, and the more royal jelly that they are fed, and the nurse bees are making it in their glands in the top of their head, um, and it depends.
Hmm.
If they are fed well in the hive, it's like if there's a lot of nectar and stuff outside to make the bees healthy. If the nurse bees are healthy, then hopefully the queen will be well fed, and the more better fed she is, the stronger she is.
It's a pretty cool thing. I like the whole bee
Mhm.
bread thing. They feed them bee bread, which is pollen and honey mixed together, I gather. That they don't,
Yep.
yeah.
Sorry about that.
I'm just looking to see if I've got anything else that I found. Yeah, the first thing they do is they clean up I was going to tell my grandkids that. The first thing a bee does is clean up its own cell. Very first thing.
Good
Yeah,
luck
but
with that, Janet.
Yeah.
each one of those cells, every time they have a new generation in that cell, they get, you know, the bee cleans it out, but there's still a little tiny thin scale that stays in the comb. And so that's why when they first come out, the honeycomb is palest yellow. And after the brood have been laid in there, it's very dark. And after a while, each cell becomes too small and you get smaller bees. And it also, the wax
Hmm.
retains the pesticide and diseases. So you want to throw out the old frames or at least the wax, and start with new at least once every 4 or 5 years.
And if they're wild bees, they would probably move to someplace else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the wax moths would come in and eat up all that old wax, and then a new hive a swarm would find that hole and come in and say, "Thank
I've
you very
never,
much."
I've never heard of a wax moth.
They are the bane of winter storage for beekeepers.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
They fly around at night. They're just small little moths, and they lay their eggs in the cracks or um, anywhere in the hive that they can get it. And then the larva will just chew through. And wax moths larva can digest plastic and
Wow.
wood.
Wow.
Yes. And
Maybe
they,
that's our answer to too much plastic.
Just yeah, we need a bunch of wax moths. We can do like they're doing in Kenya, Nigeria. They're beginning to farm. It's a type of fly, a type of black fly. They're farming the larvae to feed to animals, but it's also a really good protein source. So they're talking about starting to do other things. So maybe they'll start farming wax moth larvae and and using them on all those piles and piles and piles of plastic. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Except for, please, please don't let them grow up.
Oh, yeah, right, right. When the beekeepers of the world and all of us who need bees do not want to end up losing all our bees to an overabundance of wax moths. Yeah. Well, back to the thing about murals on the walls and urns with things in them and whatever inside the hive. I first kind of laughed. I said, okay, they're trying to tell a story of different places. And then I thought, we don't know what they can see and hear. It's dark in the hive, but look at what they can figure out to do just by vibrations and smell, what pheromones being pumped out or whatever. Maybe they can design the wax differently in some places than others, and there's some calming places that bees can sit in, and oh, I can't think what it is. Maybe it was the Muppets where all the chickens would stand and stare and go, oh, one particular place. I'm going to stand here and be calm.
In the book, weren't they like these panels, like departing information that really only certain bees were supposed to get?
Yeah, yeah, the whole,
No.
yeah, because it told the story of I can't remember what they called us, but smoking and taking out a soup or
The
whatever.
visitation, the
Visitation.
visitation.
Yeah, visitation. It's going to happen. Oh no.
And the real story of what happens to the men, not the nirvana that they have projected for themselves.
You can't help it. Well, it's a female writer, but you can't
It's kind
help
of
but imagine these guys sitting around with their feet up, watching TV and talking about sports.
yes.
Yeah.
So I really did enjoy this book, but it did leave me in a bit of a funk. Like, while I was reading it
Yeah.
and even after, it was just there was enough dark stuff in it and enough I don't know, it kind of left me in a bit of a funk. I really liked it. But yeah, that was my take on it.
Yeah, the idea of the spiders being the wise ones and it's true, at the end of the summer, there's a lot of spiders, They must have learned something. But the spiders being the wise ones who like sell information and everything out there, what do they call it? The myriad out there to get the bees. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we had termites really bad several years ago. I have a solid brick home and we had to go take walls out down to the studs. In Michigan, we have subterranean termites.
Oh,
And
yeah.
what we had to do was the pest control came and planted canisters in the ground all around our house with bait in it. And the thing is, the termite workers would come eat the bait. They came into our house in little teeny mud tunnels, but they
Right.
would eat the bait. And eventually the soldiers realized, why aren't the workers coming back? So then the soldiers come out looking for the workers and they end up eating the bait. And then the next level comes out wondering, where are the soldiers? And that's how they ended up killing the colony, because one level kept coming out to look for the other. So that made me think how the bees have this hierarchy. It really is a real thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is real. It is real, and they will respond that way. And that's, I mean, when you think about it, I knew an entomologist who was a really cool guy who worked at a botanical garden, and then he went to work for Rose Exterminator because they need entomologists.
That's who we have, Rose.
Yeah, and I said, well, it's good that they've got people who know, but how sad that the idea is that you learn all about how these insects work and then turn it against them.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't have any love for termites. Bees, yes,
Yeah.
but not termites.
My sister sent me a picture. I'm not sure that this is going to show up. Let's see if I can. It's a new termite that somebody has discovered recently in South America. Like we
Oh.
like we need a new termite. Come on, turn.
Wow.
Turn, picture, turn. Aren't you supposed to turn when I tell you to turn? No, why not? Come on. I always have to turn my phone so that it doesn't rotate the picture because my hands shake and it just keeps rotating stuff all the time. So I have to turn the rotation off to get it to
It
turn.
might give me nightmares if you show it anyway, Janet.
Well, it's just the head.
No more termites.
It's just the head of the termite here, and of course there's going to be all kinds of things in the way. I can't even begin to get rid of them. Jeez. Okay, the head of this termite, just the head, looks like a sperm whale. Great big crown and straight flat down right here. The head looks like that, and they've named it Pseudostigmi, whatever the genus is for termites, Moby Dicky.
That's great.
No, that's not funny.
My brother-in-law was looking over my shoulder while I was looking at it, and he said, "Are they going to get the common name of Ishmael?" I said, "Yeah, it's kind of fun to do." Should we pick another book?
Yes.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, I could just pick numbers, but I have this basket here. We're now up to about 48 books on the list because
Wow.
Susan added a couple new ones, and so did somebody else. And I've got a basket full of stuff here. Each of these things has a number on them, and there's a book list, which I should have brought up. Book list. 3, book list. Here, book list. It's supposed to have book club title page. No, not that one. I'm sorry. I should have known I was going to need this.
While you're doing all that, Janet, I just wanted to say you were talking about the murals from the book, but I saw an actual mural. I'm sure it was on Facebook or something online, but a guy was painting like a mural on the wall, and it had a world and a bee, and it said, "When we go, we're taking you with us." I just thought and it's true, right? Because we don't eat. If we don't have bees, we don't eat. So if we kill off all of our bees, they're taking us with them.
Yeah, and unfortunately, some people just don't even understand that. They figure there's got to be some way that we can get by, is all. Okay, so I have a list of books, and I can pull up the number when I need it. But if I could just reach in here and pull something, but we could also do should I pull a ball, a duck, a ball or a duck?
Duck.
Duck.
Clothed or not clothed?
Clothed?
Yeah.
You mean naked?
Yes, I have naked ducks. So that's a naked duck. But I've also got ducks with clothes on.
Your choice, Janet. What are you in the mood for?
I'll pull out the ducks with clothes on them, and we'll pull one of those numbers. I've been noticing Jeeps with these ducks in there.
Oh, yeah.
On their,
Yeah.
I looked that one up because I asked somebody about it. She said, "Oh, it's just a thing we Jeep people do." It started during COVID when one woman just decided that the person she'd seen get out of that Jeep looked kind of sad and needed to be cheered up, so she left a duck for them. And before you know it, it was Jeep people leaving ducks. Okay, I have all the whoops, one more. Ducks with clothes sitting out here. Somebody give me a number between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Give a number between 1 and 12.
9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Number 9 book. Okay.
That's the one I picked. Yes.
I mean this guy actually has a 9. I got a dot there for the 9. There we go. It's actually a 9 right there.
You don't like the book, and then turn it upside down.
Sorry. Okay, where is it open? There it is. Is that it? Yeah, book club titles. There we go. Okay, what's book number 9?
Oh, cool. A good book.
Book number 9. The Light Eaters. Okay, I bet.
Oh, yay.
Now some of us have read The Light Eaters, right? Has everybody read The Light Eaters?
No.
No.
Good. Because those of us who've already read it will definitely read it again, right?
Yes. And I never
Okay.
finished it. So yes, this will help me to finish it.
Okay, so our next book is The Light Eaters.
Who's the author?
The author is Zoe Schlanger. Z-O-E for the first name, S-C-H-L-A-N-G-E-R. Schlanger.
Schlanger.
As I understand it, I can't remember if it was in the foreword of the book or I read it someplace else. She's is an investigative reporter and was pretty much assigned to climate change stuff for the Atlantic. I don't know, one of those news magazines, and got tired of writing about climate stuff and ended up wanting to look into photosynthesis and what people were doing with plants, and whether or not that book, I read it back whenever, The Secret Life of Plants, had any relevance in the real world now. And ended up finding all these cool people doing research with plants that will blow your mind. I mean, I'm still thinking, I can't believe the things that these people did with the roots. And anyway, I'm not going to tell you. I'm pretty sure since that's fairly new, it must have been only within the last year and a half or so that it came out. And I'm pretty sure that one's going to be at the library and readily available.
Right.
So I will mark the list that number is now gone, and we're reading the Light Eaters, and we'll get back together in April.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Thank you. This is fun.
Thank you. This was great.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
loved it.
And nobody has any new books to recommend?
I think 47 is a
not.
pretty good list.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40 is a great list. Because the ones that were left it started with the Sous Chef's Indigenous Kitchen. I didn't realize, but as soon as I read it, I went, well, of course, they didn't have wheat, dairy, or sugar before Europeans got here. They weren't working with any of those ingredients. So it was that, and that led to the whole idea of I read a book a long time ago about sugar, and it's probably one of those three. And it was like, scary
Oh
as
my
all get out. Yeah, scary as all get out. So anyway, if you do think of another book, because people are telling me, we're getting emails that say, well, I can't get to book club, but boy, what a great list of books. I'm reading them right now after I got my shoulder surgery.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so good. All right, so I will catch you guys at one of our other things going on. Anybody coming out this weekend? No, not on this group. I'm hoping for better weather, but I'll be out there this weekend. We're pruning hydrangea and Japanese maple this weekend, and a bunch of things that have to be kept small over in Grosse Pointe. If anybody's interested.
Oh, I'm sorry to miss that.
Yeah,
I really
you're
am.
kind of a hike to get there.
Hey, Janet,
Yeah.
take a video.
Well, the only thing about taking a video is then I have to have Steve there or somebody there to take the video. And we generally haven't been able to do that. Steve has tried to take videos and he doesn't appear to be very good at it. And I can't hold the camera.
Maybe one of your volunteers will volunteer.
Yeah.
Right, because most people don't mind with a smartphone. Most people don't mind taking a video.
Okay, we'll give it a shot.
Good point.
We'll give it a shot.
I only say that because I have to prune both of Japanese maple and hydrangea, so.
Okay, I will give it a shot.
Okay.
Nancy Randall is one of the people there, and I think she's got a pretty steady hand. It's all right.
Sounds
All right,
awesome.
sounds good.
Thank you, ladies. This was fun.
Thank you all. It was really fun and I learned a lot.
Good gardening.
Any questions before we go?
No. Thank you for doing what you're doing.
Hey, you're
Yes.
Okay, good night, everybody.